This video is brought to you by SoccerPro.com, bringing you everyday low prices with no membership fees. Be sure to use coupon code SR4U at checkout to receive $10 off any order of $100 or more. Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you an unboxing plus on-feet video of the brand new Nike Elastico Pro 3 Indoors in the Midnight Fog colorway. Now inside the box, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. So let me get these out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at the Elastico Pro 3. So in the new Elastico lineup, at the top you have the Superfly, which retails for $150 US. Below that you have the Elastico Finale 3, which retails for $90 US. And then below that you have these guys right here, the Elastico Pro 3, which retail for $70 US. So it isn't expensive, but it isn't necessarily all that cheap either. And in terms of what you get for your money, it's drastically different from both the Finale as well as the Superfly. So we're going to talk about all the tech specs and details in today's video. If you are interested in a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend checking out the review page on my website. There's a link to that down below in the description. You'll find buy it now links with SR4U coupon codes where you can get these below their $70 retail price even right now as a new release. So again, if you're interested in a pair, that link is down below in the description. And with that being said, let's get right into the shoes. To start things off, let's talk about the colorway and the overall styling of the new Elastico Pro 3. Now, as you guys can see, it's split between two main materials on the upper, a synthetic material in the front portion of the shoe, and then the rear portion of the shoe is made from more of an exposed mesh. It has a very high contrast look and lots of texture across the entire upper. Some people will argue that it does look a little bit cheap, and I wouldn't necessarily argue against that, but I want you guys to leave your opinions down below in the comment section. Do you like how these look, or do you not like how these look? Why or why not? This particular colorway features that Midnight Fog gray color in the front portion on the synthetic, while the rear mesh portion is all black in color. As you can see, the tongue is also black mesh, black laces. You have a little bit of a Volt accent here in the form of the embroidery around the lace holes, which I think looks pretty cool. Your Nike branding here in Volt yellow as well. You have a lateral and medial Nike swoosh. The lateral Nike swoosh is Volt yellow and black with that camo pattern that you see across the entire Elastico line, while the medial side swoosh is just solid Volt yellow in color. One thing that I did notice is that the material for the swoosh is actually quite thick, which kind of surprised me. Didn't expect to see that until I actually had it in my hands in person, but shouldn't have too big of a deal, an impact on the overall performance. But it definitely does look, like I said, a little bit cheap if I'm completely honest with you guys. Heel liner is black, insole is Volt yellow, and then on this colorway you can see the outsole is more of a solid white color with your black Nike swoosh there in the heel. So as far as colorways go, out of the two launch ones anyways, this one is going to be the more subtle, featuring darker colors, blacks, grays with a little bit of Volt yellow accent, where the other variation is of course laser orange. So again, leave your opinions on the visuals of the shoe down below in the comments. Curious to hear what those are. And with that being said, let's get into the tech specs of this shoe so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, while I'm not blown away by the materials they've used here, I think that ultimately it is a shoe that's going to perform pretty well just based on how the materials feel in my hand. Now, like I mentioned earlier, the upper is split between two separate materials. The rear portion is mesh, or what appears to be mesh, and the front portion is more of a standard synthetic material. Now, this synthetic material spans from this area on the lateral side of the forefoot and then cuts off basically in the midfoot portion on the medial side. Now, the synthetic, as you can see, has a nice texturing to it. It's a matte finish, so there's no extra grip whatsoever. It's relatively thin and very soft and flexible, so break-in time should be quite minimal with this particular shoe. They haven't really given it a name. They just call it a synthetic upper, and that's really the best way to describe it. It's soft, it's thin, it's flexible, and like I said, while it's not incredibly nice as far as quality is concerned, in terms of the touch that I think it's going to provide, I think it'll perform pretty well. Now, the rear portion of the shoe is mesh, which you would probably expect to be breathable as well as very, very flimsy, and it's neither of those two things. It isn't breathable because it isn't actually a mesh. Basically, it's made from a nylon type of material just based on what it feels like, where it appears to be like there's a base layer of nylon and then this mesh overlay material just to give it some more structure and of course make it a little bit more durable.
Now, because of that, like I said, it really isn't a mesh, and it's also very strong because it is made mostly from nylon. And as far as the breathability is concerned, it's completely solid. There's really no airflow here whatsoever, despite how it may look. So in terms of stability, once you pull the laces tight, it holds your foot in place really nicely. It's soft and flexible, so it forms to the exact shape of your foot as well with no break-in time, and it isn't going to stretch in any way at all. So again, you're going to get that nice responsive, stable sensation when these shoes are on your foot. And as far as touch is concerned, it's on the thinner side. It's arguably a little bit more padded than what you're going to get from the front portion of the shoe, but for the most part, I would say it actually feels pretty good on your feet. Central lacing system, as you can see, the tongue is also made from a very thin mesh material. It's got that same cut as the rest of the Elastico line, other than, of course, the Superfly, which is a mid-cut shoe. So it's a little bit lower cut. You have the heel lining material, which is basically a soft mesh with a decent amount of padding backing it. It does not have a removable insole, which is a bit of a bummer if you ask me, but not too big of a deal. And then as far as the midsole is concerned, you're going to notice that it does not have a midsole like you're going to find on the Finale 3 and the Superfly models, where there's a little bit of extra foam in the heel and midfoot. This time around, you're basically just sitting directly on the outsole with no extra padding, just what you're going to get from the insole. So in regards to comparing it to the higher end models, it is a little bit more low profile and there's a lot less underfoot cushioning, which isn't a bad thing. It just depends on what you're looking for. If you want really good kind of court feel, that really close to the ground sensation, you're really going to like how this shoe feels. And if you're coming from previous Elastico models, this is definitely a very, very similar setup. And then as far as the outsole is concerned, this is the indoor variation, of course. It is available in a turf model as well, depending on what playing surface you're going to be using them on most frequently. For indoor courts though, it's the exact same outsole, and it does seem to perform quite well just based on my experiences with it, with other shoes of course. It's also quite durable. It's a pretty aggressive tread as far as indoor models go. And even if you wanted to use this outdoors on concrete or asphalt or whatever kind of abrasive outdoor surface it may be, you can see you have this very large rubber lip going around the forefoot and toe box area, the nylon stitching going around the toe as well. So durability should not be a concern. And again, if you want to use this as a street soccer shoe, this definitely seems to be a very viable option and a relatively affordable one as well. So that's pretty much it as far as the tech specs are concerned. Again, the quality is not overwhelming, but the performance aspects of the shoe definitely seem to be positive. So that's pretty much it with that. And next we'll move on to a quick weigh-in so you can see how lightweight these guys are. As far as weight is concerned, the Elastico Pro 3 is pretty light, as you might expect. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.1 ounces, which, like I said, for a pair of indoor shoes, that's pretty light, and you can't ask for too much more for a shoe in this particular price range. So if weight is something you were concerned about, I wouldn't worry too much because the Elastico Pro 3 is definitely going to offer you that lightweight, close to the ground sensation that you're looking for. Alright, here's a look at the Elastico Pro 3s on feet, and I have to say I'm really happy with how these things fit. From right out of the box, they fit extremely well. No extra space on the inside of the shoe. The materials that they use, like I mentioned, while they don't feel the most premium, they're very soft, very flexible, and just form to the exact shape of your foot with really no break-in time required. So as far as comfort is concerned, these are very, very comfortable. Like I mentioned, the fit is definitely on the tighter side. I would compare it to the Mercurial line or even the Hypervenom line from Nike, where there's not a lot of extra space to no extra space at all on the inside of the shoe, depending on how they actually fit your feet. For me, there's no extra space whatsoever, and like I said, the fit is relatively snug all the way through. So if you do have wide feet, this probably isn't going to be the best option for you. You're not really going to get any stretch out of that mesh nylon material in the midfoot and rear portion of the shoe, while the synthetic portion of the shoe at the front in the forefoot and toe box area, you may be able to get some stretch out of, but for the most part, the way these things fit from right out of the box is the way they're going to fit for their entire lifespan. As far as sizing goes, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size, just like the rest of the Elastico line from Nike. Alright guys, that's it for my unboxing of the Nike Elastico Pro 3. Overall, I'm not overwhelmed by the quality of the materials, but just based on how the shoe fits and feels, I think that the $70 asking price certainly isn't unreasonable. If you are in a bit of a budget and you're looking for that lightweight, barefoot, low profile sensation from your indoor shoes, I think that the Elastico Pro 3 definitely will deliver on what you're looking for. Of course, I will follow up with a full written performance review on my website, soccerreviewsforyou.com. The link to that page is down below in the description. On that page right now, you'll find the high quality images that'll give you a better idea as to how these actually do look in person, as well as find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, allowing you to pick these up below their $70 retail price. So be sure to go ahead and check that out. If you have any questions or suggestions, leave those down below in the comment section, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. That would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.